gold, ability materials, gear, training materials. I have hoarded all of these, and now I will use them to build the characters and teams. I am Dogbert. I will be your guide on this journey as we try to discover if they are worth it. Hello and welcome, I am Dogbert and this is Worth It, where I review teams and characters and let you know if they're worth your resources in order to build them based off of what I've done. I usually build them up pretty high, level 75 G14, level 80 G15, or in very rare circumstances, all the way up to 85 and G16. And this is one of those rare circumstances, because we are going to be talking about Hulk. And just so you know, what we're really talking about is this, my Gear 16, 7-7, level 85, Hulk on Catbird of all of them. Yes, that's right, Catbird has a 7-7 Hulk. I was really happy to see the rework. I did bring him up. I am currently using him in DD5, and you're about to get my thoughts on using him in DD5. So let's go and take a look at Hulk. So we always like to start off with the pros. And first, he has a big heal for himself, which comes in very handy to keep him alive, because he's healing for 30% of his health. He also has a fairly large hit point pool. That current 7-7 Hulk I just showed you has around 943,000 health on his own. Now, I'm saying on his own because if you haven't looked at the Gamma team, if you added in Abomination and Brawn, he'd get another 60% health. Yes, 60. It would bring him up at that current level up to over 1.3 million health points, hit points, whatever. He does gain different effects when he gets dropped below certain points of health, being it be at 50% or 25%. He can give himself, he can clear negative effects. He gives himself death proof. He speeds up, giving himself a turn, essentially. Can be kind of useful. And he can also clear those negative effects off of himself with his taunt, which is only a 3-turn cooldown, so it's going to be happening very often. And he can hit fairly hard, but as you're going to see in the cons, there are some things that keep him held back. And he does have high resistance. He gets 1,000%. That's right, 1,000% more resistance when he has taunt. In other words, nobody is going to be probably stripping that taunt off of him. It doesn't matter if they're a skirmisher or not, his resistance is going to be through the roof. You're not getting the taunt off of him, probably. Maybe Sharon Carter. That's about it. As for his cons, he is kind of slow. Let me move myself out of here for you. All right, he is kind of slow. He's only got like 80-some health, speed. I mean, health, not health. Eesh. What am I saying? Why am I allowed to talk? Anyway, back onto it. He really does need to be on his team or with Wave 1 Avenger, just because of the way he works and because of how slow he is and the way he gets speed bar. If they get hit, that really is what it comes down to. That's what it also comes down to a con. He can only be sped up by his allies getting hit, which is kind of annoying considering he should be taunting and protecting the allies, not letting them get hit. But when he's taunting, you kind of want him to hold that taunt, so it makes kind of sense. But you can't really use him as offensively as you'd like. He's more of a defensive character that can hit pretty hard. So, is Hulk worth it? Individually, on his own, without the Gamma or Wave 1, no. He's just not that good. I'm trying him out in DD5. He does survive, but he does not really add anything to it. I think part of the problem is when you're talking about Dark Dimension 5, you really need more control characters. I actually had a better time with Lady Deathstrike in place of Hulk, just because she gives us a little bit more control and a bit more damage a lot quicker. That's what it comes down to. As far as if you had Gamma allies such as Brawn or Abomination, this could be a totally different story. So keep that in mind. He will be on the Apex War Team with Gamma. If you haven't seen, they are incredible, especially with Red Hulk. I expect them to be able to take down Dormholds and pretty much even Heroes for Hire, pretty much any team they want. But they're also going to be a nightmare on defense as well. And he also might be good in the War Scourge. I could see some hybrids coming up where you either like use him in place of Sif, maybe on Node 5, so you have Sif for Node 10, or vice versa. I could also see a hybrid coming out where maybe you don't have Sif, maybe you drop Heimdall too. You keep Valkyrie and Mighty Thor along with, of course, Thor. You pair him, Hulk in, and put Iron Man in. And that could be another hybrid we could see happen, because that way you would have Iron Man there to do the extends. You would like if like Thor actually got some stuns out there, you got some ability block, you got an ability block from Valkyrie or a stun from her, plus the blind from Mighty Thor if you have her built like that, and you could have Hulk there to protect the whole team. Plus, whenever he takes damage, he would then give Thor charges. So that could be a possible hybrid or a possible backup type hybrid team. We don't know yet because we haven't really seen what the War Scourge is going to look like. So until then, we won't know for sure. I'm just speculating here of things that could happen. The other thing that could happen is once we have Red Hulk in the Gamma team, could they be arena viable? I think Red Hulk definitely is going to be. If you look at Red Hulk's kit, though, he does get a bonus safeguard and stuff for having Hulk with him. So that could be a possibility. And then you look at Brawn, who has the ability to copy positive effects. If you played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, it's like Grandmaster Yoda. Or he would go and steal the effects and then pass them off into his team. That could be a possibility, too. We could see Gamma become quite an arena team, maybe swapping out She-Hulk for somebody else to make them better. Could just see a couple pieces of them, like a Brawn or a Hulk here, helping out Red Hulk, becoming onto a hybrid. We could see all sorts of different things. It's going to be an exciting time in the arena, I think. Going to be very interesting theory crafting. And when everything else is said and done with this, even though he's not really worth bringing to Dark Dimension 5 just for Dark Dimension 5, you still have to build him for Apocalypse. So you don't really get a choice in this matter. You need to Gear 17 him, level 90 him. That's the unfortunate truth. You don't get any decision in this. You have to do it if you want Apocalypse. But at least I gave you an idea of whether, like, how quickly you should work on him, or maybe not work on him, depending on what your goals are, and how fast you want to get through DD5. Will you get through DD5 with Hulk geared up? Yes. Will it take you longer? More than likely. Do you have to do it anyway? Yes. So those are all things you got to take into account. And if you're already through DD5, well, you can do whatever you want then. Build them up whenever you want. It might be worth it, though. Once Red Hulk comes out, you might want him built for that. I expect that we'll see Red Hulk end September, beginning October, the latest, given the recent news. So that wraps up this video of Worth It. Until next time, I'd just like to say one last thing. Live the anti-pants life. Just say no to pants. Trust me. If you go into work where they force you to wear pants and you come in not wearing pants, you will never, ever have to worry about going into that office with pants on again. Or, be around, playgrounds or schools within 150 feet also, more than likely. Until next time, everybody.